Hey, this is Soomin Kim, your Austin real estate agent, and welcome to a $230,000 complete backyard remodel. All right, so as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, my name is Soomin Kim. If you're returning to my channel, welcome back. If you're brand new to my channel, I am an Austin real estate agent here to help you with all of your decisions, help you be a resource of information of all the critical decisions that you can make here in the Austin market. And today is a very personal video. You know, one of the things I love about helping people into their home is that when that house becomes a home, when that property becomes theirs, there's also some renovations, some furnishings and things that are done to make it very personal. And one of those very personal things that many people are embarking on once they get into a new home is a remodel. Typically a remodel of your backyard. We are in Texas where there's going to be more space than maybe where states that you're coming from. Backyards can be bigger. And so the remodel is an important and big subject that I get confronted on oftentimes with clients, whether it be a swimming pool, a deck, whether it just be re-landscaping, all of that. So what I wanted to do is I wanted certainly be someone that has a lot of value, that can provide value. I certainly have vendors, I have referrals, but I wanted to embark on that on my own journey so that I can be able to be the greatest resource for all of you that are my clients. So this is very personal. Welcome to my backyard. This is a complete remodel from the deck to the pool. And what this video is gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and break that down, all the pros and cons, the troubleshooting of what we had to do to complete this backyard. And even though it's not actually fully complete, I wanna share that journey with all of you and see if I can't be a valuable resource for those of you that are looking to go ahead and do something similar for your home. Getting a consultant, and these are renderings and a folder, a step-by-step procedure pro forma that has been put together by my consultant for this particular project, and we're just going to kind of skim through it as I talk over it a little bit. So I will share with you that a consultant is going to expand your budget. It's not going to be cheap. Certainly the individual is going to cost money, but hear me out. For me, time is really important, and the ability to not have to make mistakes is very important for me as well. On top of that, what a good consultant that is going to prove their worth is going to do is they're going to vet every vendor that they go after. So ultimately, it allows me not to have to deal with each vendor that is being hired for a job. I can simply go through the consultant. The consultant can then, that has probably a previously relationship with these vendors, is going to be able to communicate for me. Now, if a vendor or the consultant is able to negotiate a better pricing, more value, all of these elements, they're going to start paying for what they're worth, right? And ultimately it's going to make it worth for me to be able to say, hey, I hired them for X amount of dollars, but look how much time, headache, and money this individual saved me. And so I will go ahead and share my consultant with you. I'll put in information regarding him down below. But really what he gave me more than anything was a vision to what we had anticipated for our backyard. He not only came by, brought some team, we measured everything out, measured the grounds to which we're going to be build and doing a remodel in the backyard. And with that, with the incredible new software that we have, we're able to put a pretty good rendering together, you know, and If you can see here to the finished project, it wasn't exactly, there's going to be some variables and some audibles that are called during the process, but this was one of our original first renderings that were put together, and it worked. Obviously now you can see that from the videos right now that we have a deck and some things that change, and we have not yet put in that door from the primary room, but these are all parts of what a consultant is going to provide: renderings, a pro forma, which is simply an estimate, a scope of work is what they call it also, but it's an opportunity for you to get the vision of a project, and have that vision come into fruition through different vendors, and that's exactly what happened. And the consultant I used did do a good job of trying to get the very best vendors for the best value. So what I asked him to do is I asked him to go out there and seek really good quality work for procuring clients, and that's what we did. We were able to put together, a consultant was able to put together, obviously, the pool vendor for me, the contractor vendor for me as well, electricians, plumbing, all of that was put together and formed by the consultant. So step number one, you got to ask yourself, do you want a consultant? Is it worth it? I would say depending on the project, it could be worth it, unless you already are in the industry, maybe perhaps you have a background in building. But for me, as you know, I'm a real estate agent. Most of my time during the day in my profession is spent doing real estate work with clients. So the last thing I needed was to have another project on top of me. So certainly my wife played a massive role. A lot of this vision is coming from her. The design element has come from her, and she definitely did a lot of communication with our consultant and all the vendors. So all right, so here we are meeting with Paradise Pool and Spas in Liberty Hill, which was our selected vendor for our pool. And we're essentially choosing what we want the pool design to look like, to feel like, but really the watercolor. So we chose the lightest pebble rock so that we could have that turquoise water. We didn't want anything too dark under there. We didn't want it to see through it. And as turquoise and as see-through as we can possibly get. They came out, they did their measurements. It was actually pretty impressive to watch them measure things out and get it really quite accurate. We did extend it just a little bit longer based upon the original dimensions that we had. They came out, they sprayed it down. We are going to go with a straight edge pool along with a jacuzzi. We did select to have a saltwater pool that's going to be heated, as well as obviously as a heated jacuzzi. Saltwater pools, if you don't know, they actually still use a little bit of chlorine to get it going, but once it does, it can be facilitated and maintained with the salt. And here we are, we have a big digger that came in and started digging away. Keep in mind that when those diggers do cross over your driveway, you may get cracks. And one of the things that they will say is that that is a part of your responsibility. And here's a couple cracks in our driveway that we found that it run over. But again, there's really no way to get around it. I mean, these are heavy machineries that come in and start digging. They hit a lot of lime rock sometimes that you don't know of, but essentially they got it done, put the forms up. You can see there, they're starting to dig in some fill dirt. All the piping is starting to go in now too. We're starting to see really the genesis of a pool coming together, and really to see through it and see how much pipe is being used for all the water to go through, the heating to go through, the gunite to go in. And again, we chose something that's straight edge, not a free form. Free form is kind of known as like the wavy shapes, and we wanted a more contemporary, more modern feel for it. The nice thing about the beginning process with Paradise Pool and Spas was actually really good. They came out, they did some great work. I felt like the quality was there. I felt like these individuals cared that what they were doing. They made some mistakes. We made some adjustments. They adjusted those on the fly and as we went. So we're happy with the process of the pool being made. I think there's a lot left to be desired on the follow-up from this particular vendor, which is a lot kind of holding me back from pushing them too hard. But ultimately, they make a quality pool. This is a Pentair machinery for the pool, which I understand is one of the top of the line. You can see all the piping under there that's essentially going to get buried. The fill dirt buried it up. The pool itself is starting to get dry. And then that's when we decided, okay, we're going to go with the deck. Okay, we're going to go with the deck to go around. We decided between real cedar or a Trek deck. And what the response was when we were having the discussions is that real wood is going to give you at least 20 years anyways. And even with the Trek deck, those likely that they might even use some real cedar under the base of it as well. So we said, what's the point of using real wood and then going with a Trek deck? Let's go with all cedar, all real wood. We'll get it sealed. There's really You can feel the difference when you step on a real wood deck versus a Trek deck, you know, and we really wanted that feel. We really wanted that smell, and we really wanted that look. We couldn't find the right Trek deck that would have that really hardcore wood realistic look. See some of the math is being done right there on there, but again, we were so happy to see this deck go in. Our backyard is actually approximately the whole lot itself is a little over a third of an acre, and it had a lot of grading to it. And so, really, what you're seeing the majority of this being built out is actually being built on the side yard, and that is actually our backyard right there. And so, tons of grading, so we had great views, but we wouldn't have much usage for it unless we built a deck. And so, we did build a deck that went out from our backyard. It wrapped around to the side yard, and that's what you're seeing here. Eventually, there's a lot of slab work that was being done for the basketball court. You can see that it's finally dried, and this is the first time our kids had a chance to step up on this card. There goes my son dribbling, acting like he's about to play some basketball in there. And you can see just how much wood is being also utilized for that cedar deck as well. So this is obviously a really exciting time. Things are starting to come together. We're starting to see something that used to be a rendering and a vision begin to come to fruition, and that was additionally exciting. As far as the basketball court goes, and that's my wife's hand, but as far as the basketball court goes, here's some LED lighting on the steps. We wanted to choose between having some of those layout kind of rubber, more forgiving decks. Instead, we actually just went with the painted acrylic. I felt like, yeah, I didn't really want that plasticky little web feel on the floor. And this is our contractors that did the deck, and essentially they did everything. I mean, landscaping, the deck, the basketball court, the horizontal cable railing for the rails, the rails. Here he is getting ready to put 10-foot black chain link fence in there. I'm telling you right now, this is one of the vendors that I really want to push, and it's the Jaime's Brothers. Jaime's Brothers is it's a vendor that essentially does it all: landscaping, remodeling, decks, putting up a chain link fence here. I mean, I felt like every day these individuals were able to pull out something in their hat. Here he is welding, you know. So ultimately, these are highly skilled, highly experienced handymen. The Jaime's Brothers. I'm going to put all their information down below. They can essentially do anything, folks. I was so impressed by not only how they did it, their attitudes on them doing it, but keep in mind, like, this was 110 degrees on some days, even more, you know, and they were out there. And finally, we haven't put the seal on the deck yet. The basketball court, the acrylic paint has not been put down, but that wouldn't stop the kids from getting in the pool for the first time and their friends. So basically, this is all about, you know, having it done for them. You can see here one of the projects here is we wanted to put it in a shower. One thing about having kids over, when they go swimming, they often need to either use a restroom or go to a shower. We didn't end up putting a restroom back there, but we ended up putting a shower. The vision was that, you know, the moment they're done swimming, maybe they can take a shower outside, shampoo their hair, so they don't have to do it on the inside. They come in there, you can see the grading of that backyard and just the views and the colors that we're going to have on golden hour. And yeah, really making the most of the usage of the space. You can see we chose horizontal cable railing. Ultimately, we didn't want to obstruct the views in any way. We wanted the railing to be seen through, and we could have chose glass, but instead we went with a horizontal cable railing. I felt it was really modern and contemporary. Planted 4 trees on the right side over there to eventually create some more privacy. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to play some music, and you can see some of the finished project, even though it's not completely finished. Just want to show you some of the finished project. Here we go. So there you have it. As we end this backyard review, my backyard review, just wanted to share that, hey, we're so happy with how it turned out. I'm so happy. My children are happy. We're obviously enjoying it. There's lots of things that we would do the same, things that we would do differently, but ultimately it's been a great experience, and it allows me as a real estate agent, really for any of you that are going through something like this or plan to, it really gives me an edge, or it gives me a place for me to be able to speak into that from this experience. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching this, and I will see all of you on the next video. Let's go.